Welcome to Implausible Nature, your home for all things Black Templar. On today's video, we are back with another Templar tips, the first Templar tips of the new codex. Today we are talking MathHammer, where I do the math so you don't have to. And specifically, we are going to be talking about Crusader squads. So this kind of started as me trying to figure out, okay, if we take a Crusader squad, what is the best and most efficient, cheapest way that we can buff that Crusader squad. So I set about doing the math. I took a look at all of our generic characters to kind of see what are the buffs that we have access to and what is going to be the best buff to give them. So first, let's take a quick look here at the datasheet. As you can see, obviously they're going to be kitted for melee. What that means is we're going to have the Sword Brother. He comes with the only option that he has, which is a nice mastercrafted lethal hits power sword with 3 attacks. We're of course going to take 2 power fists per 10 men, which is very nice. They hit on 3s with 3 attacks each. And then, of course, everyone else, all the remaining 7 models, is going to have a chainsword. Chainswords got changed in this edition, so they are now 4 attacks, just like all the other Marines. However, they do have built-in sustained hits 1, which is very nice and really helps out with some of the buffs that we have access to. So let's talk about those buffs. What buffs do we have access to? So I kind of collated all of our characters that we have access to and took a look at their buffs. So we can get reroll 1s to hit. That comes in the form of either a Castellan who did not make the leadership check. You can also get it from a few different strats that we have across our detachments. We have criticals on 5+, that comes from our Marshal. We have just straight up lethal hits for everybody. That comes in the form of a Lieutenant. All of our bespoke squads, including the Crusader squad, can still be led by a Lieutenant, so that's nice. We can get extra AP. That can come from an enhancement in our Champions of Vehemence detachment. You can also get rerolls to hit from an enhancement in that same detachment, as well as the Castellan gives out full rerolls to hit if he passes that check. So let's take a look now at the math and see how it stacks up. So first I ran the baseline. This is just a Crusader squad with these buffs, with no other outside things, so no accept any challenge. Perhaps in case like you ran a different vow, this will give you an idea of what these buffs do and how that +1 to wound affects them. So without the +1 to wound, you can see obviously reroll 1s is pretty mediocre across the board, being the most restrictive of the buffs that you can get. Critical 5s obviously benefits sustained hits and the lethal hits of the Sword Brother. Unfortunately, it doesn't benefit the power fists at all. So you see a significant increase, not significant. I mean, over the baseline, it's significant, 20% into the higher toughness things. A slight increase over reroll 1s, but it's actually worse into Marines and tough 5 because the thing that is wounding them the best there gets absolutely no benefit from this. You're really not, which is the power fist, so you're really not getting a ton of benefit out of that. Lethals into something you wound on 3s or better is not a huge buff. I mean, it's 10%. That's not nothing, but compared to some of these other ones, as you can see, not quite great. And as you can see, the lethal, on the just lethals is, the same. Now, where the lethals from the Lieutenant really shines, obviously, is into the tougher things, easily outpacing some of the other abilities here. But as you can see, both extra AP and reroll to hits, very, very similar. They're within like a percentage or 2 of each other. Not quite as good as lethals into the tougher things, but still very good increases here. So let's now take a look at how this compares to once we add in that +1 to wound from accept any challenge, which most likely you're going to be running, and it's a very quite different looking ball game here. So crit hits definitely coming out the worst on this, because that +1 to wound really helps some weapons over others. You're not getting much benefit from sustained for it. You're getting some extra hits, which is nice, but compared to like lethal, for example, and then look at the extra AP and the reroll to hits. So that +1 to wound really makes up a huge gap versus lethal hits, and really closes the gap there on how much you're getting percentage-wise over the baseline. So you can see that the best two buffs are going to be extra AP and rerolls to hit. So they're basically neck and neck. The extra AP does do a little bit better into toughness 12 with a 2+ save, and that's because it has a 2+ save. So anytime you can increase AP against a 2+ save, definitely very good there. So this got me thinking that, well, hey, reroll to hits, extra AP. Is there anything that we have that can stack those together? Well, as it turns out, there is, and that's Grimaldus. So I threw Helbrecht in here as well, did the math on him as well, just to show you. Now, granted, both of these are named characters. They're a little more expensive than than any of these other characters are. Some of them by a fair amount. I mean, Helbrecht is double the cost of the Castellan. Grimaldus is almost double the cost of the Castellan. So you're definitely spending more points on these guys, but you can see the massive difference that Grimaldus makes. Helbrecht is a bit hit or miss because the +1 to strength hits some breakpoints in some areas and not in others, compared to getting the rerolls and the AP, especially when we're looking at it with accept any challenge. So for 110 points, sticking Grimaldus with a Crusader squad is actually a pretty significant buff. And we'll have another video where we talk about Sword Brethren, and probably a video where we talk about just how good Grimaldus actually is. I think a lot of people are initially sleeping on him, and you heard it here first. I think Grimaldus is not only playable, I think he can be really deadly with the right squad. So there's the MathHammer on Crusaders for you. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things that drives that algorithm for us. We greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to check out our Patreon as well. Thank you to all of our YouTube members and our Patreon members. We can't do this without you guys. Love the support there. So until next time, keep on crusading.